Recording on. And hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Europa Universalis IV, where we are, of course, playing as the Netherlands. In the previous stream, we expanded our holdings. We retook a bunch of the territories from the Inca. We spread over here to the east, taking a bunch of land from Malacca, and over here as well. And I think that was the last thing that we did. So, what are we going to do today? I was looking through the trade routes while I was loading the game up. We're getting quite a lot of money out of the Far East at the moment. There's still a little bit left that we could tap, but that's just something that will happen over the course of the game. So we're getting 50 going there, and it's all going straight to the Cape. So we'll look at that more in a moment. We're even getting a bit from Bengal, 30 ducats being pushed forward, 60 out of Coromandel because we control the majority of the trade down here. And we're even getting 50 ducats out of Gujarat, which is actually quite impressive going. And we're pushing 200 ducats out of the Cape into the Ivory Coast, where we're pushing 270 into the Caribbean, 320 up to Chesapeake, 330 into St. Lawrence. We lose a bit in St. Lawrence, so we probably do need to mix up our transport fleet or our trade fleet up here a little bit, because we are losing like 150 ducats between these two provinces, which is a fair chunk. Pushing that into the North Sea, where 100 ducats, thanks to the British and the French, get pushed straight into the English Channel, and then 230, which gets pushed into Lubeck, and then 296 gets pushed into the English Channel, where we then absorb it and turn it into good hold money. We make lots of money. However, despite the fact that I control 2 of the centres of trade here, and despite the fact that they are level 3 level, Lubeck is still stealing 75 ducats worth of money out of just 2 provinces, which is a lot, and I'm greedy and I want that. I then noticed that Lubeck is allied to Bremen and Hamburg, who also control centres of trade. So if we took out Lubeck, Bremen and Hamburg in one fell swoop, we would control all of the centres of trade, except for 2, actually. I just noticed Scandinavia still got 2. And that would give us a lot more control. It would also earn us another 95 ducats. Bremen's taking 10, Hamburg is taking 10, and Lubeck is taking 75. So that would translate into a lot of money, bearing in mind my extremely high trade efficiency, which basically converts the money that we take from here into more money. So we need to have a war against them, I think. We did, in the last session, break our alliance with Lubeck. We were allied with them for a while. But, and here's where the big but comes in, they are in the Empire. The Emperor right now is Austria, which would mean one colossal conflict. The other big sodding problem is I would be relying very heavily on Prussia. However, Prussia would not answer the call. Why is this? Because Prussia is allied to Austria. And the way that it works is that the Emperor calls in all of their allies into any wars which the Emperor is involved in on behalf of the Empire. So that would put me into a war against Austria, Prussia, these guys, and also Austria's other allies, which happens to include countries like Britain. Britain, Prussia, Alsace, Mecklenburg, Memmingen, and me. Obviously, I wouldn't call myself into a war against myself. So we need to find a way of breaking Prussia's alliance with Austria. We have already sent a diplomat to Prussia recently, so we cannot check this to see if there's any chance that we could force them to break their alliance as a great power. I doubt that we can, although they themselves are not a great power, so it's possible. But Austria are only 5th. Interesting. The other thing is, Austria has double the standing forces that I do, and a lot more manpower. An awful lot more manpower. I mean, I can rely fairly heavily on mercenaries. In fact, in the Malacca campaign, I had to. So we need to reconvert those into infantry and get them training again. The things in our favour is we have Fortress Netherlands, which is a very, very, very tough nut to crack, thanks to a plethora of level 8 forts, which is basically every single province here. So good luck sieging those down. And we could ship in pretty much our entire force to just bludgeon them whenever they come close to taking a loan. Taking a loan. Someone talking about money in chat, and I was like, loans! But that's not the thing. So, yeah. I think that there's going to be a big war against Austria and probably Britain. Britain, I'm just going to blockade and then let my minions deal with their colonies. I mean, we've already been at blows a couple of times in the past. I don't think that Canada's going to hold up much of a threat against New Holland, New Vlaanderen, New Gelderland, plus all of these guys down here, though they probably won't do as much. They do have a couple of colonial holdings, but I'm not going to worry about those too much at this point. Someone's asking whether someone is collecting in the Cape. I don't think so. No. It's all being pushed forwards. I don't think I've ever seen anyone collecting in the Cape, actually. No AI, anyway. Okay, so, yeah, that's where things stand. We need to get our armies back from here. We need to make sure that we deal with any rebels that may rise up in this area, and there are quite a few rebels. Crikey. That's because of the high overextension. Yes, we have extremely high overextension, but that will be brought back in good time. Maratha, Maduran, Golgak. Okay, that's a bunch of Indian separatists. Yeah, they've really started to rise. But we should be able to deal with that. I'm not too concerned about it. So let's grab these armies and just say, go here. Oh, that's Ming. That's me. This is the stuff I just took. So we'll march you back over there. Thankfully, you are exiled. Is that mine? No, that's Mamluks. And then the next thing is the fleets. You were protecting trade, I think, in Malacca. You may not need to do that anymore. I'm half tempted to send you to the Americas. In fact, yes, that's what I'm going to do, I think. I'll split you in half. I'm going to send you to protect trade in Chesapeake, and then the other one, protect trade in St. Lawrence. And that should mean that we get a bunch more money coming through. The other thing is my war fleet should be out here somewhere, because they were fighting a series of running battles, and also our transports. So the transports need to be sent here. In fact, these are the lands that we just took, so let's put you up here. Then the transports can just stay here. And the war fleet can head home to Europe, where they're going to have to fight against the Royal Navy. Moldavia have gotten over their court and country. Trade fleets, claims fabricated. Right, so, are there any buildings and things I could be building? Yes. And also probably in my subjects' territories. What about production buildings? Yes, actually. And how's the sailors? We're currently losing sailors, but we now know why we have these blips of losing sailors. That's because my heavy fleet is at sea. Once they get back into port, then that will no longer be a problem. We could increase our naval force limit. We are already under our naval force limit, so I think we're fine there. Plus the fact, and I still can't believe this, we haven't taken either maritime or naval yet. Like, we have a force limit of 756 without maritime or naval ideas. What country did I form the Netherlands with? Gelre. So, them. And that's still where my capital is to this day. Right, so I could try and get some more naval force limit. I'm not entirely convinced that my sailors can sustain that. I would love to get some more manpower, but I don't think that's going to be very conducive right now. I am under my land force limit. I do need to build some more troops, so we kind of need to wait for manpower to recover before we do any of that. All of the forts here are upgraded, all of those forts are upgraded. And these are just open provinces, except for Kannur, which actually looks like an upgrade, seeing as that's a level 8 and a very cheap one. We have universities everywhere, and I think the Enlightenment has arrived. Oh, no, we're actually getting tech penalty. Right, where did the Enlightenment spawn? Ah, it was here, and I now control it. Excellent. So we should start getting the Enlightenment pretty quickly. That was one of the reasons I fought that, because I wanted the second controlled institution, which means that we can get more splendor. The other thing we could, of course, do is a golden era when we declare the war, and in fact, we probably should. I have a feeling we'll need that extra morale. The only thing we're lacking is high discipline and a parliament. Parliament we can't do because we're a Dutch Republic. High discipline. What is my discipline right now? 114. We're not actually a mile away. And we're currently working on offensive, which is going to give us another 5%. What policies do I have in action? Just looking what else is available. Piracy. So we have trade efficiency and trade steering, global settler increase and native uprising, trade efficiency and production, and then there's the discipline. Okay. So my armies are strong. They're very, very strong. There's a bunch of counting houses. Those are all production. I mean, honestly, we could just build these as well. May as well. It's not like I'm short on cash. And also trade. Sure. Don't think town halls are particularly valuable for me right now. Manpower is the one thing that could be. Oh, and also trade investments. Which I should probably look into doing. That's land force limit, that's supply limit and defensiveness. Taxes, naval force limit, naval tradition. Trade steering, yes. And ship costs would also be nice. Army tradition. I should be trying to get as much army tradition as I can from these places too. You know what? Go for it. So we just need to keep money rolling in. And it is. Rapidly. Look at that trade income. Absurd! And it's about to go up even further. Alright. Let's get our armies home. Coalition. Yeah, so we're going to have a bit of a coalition out here in the east. Not too concerned about it. Part of the problem is going to be all of the revolt risk that we have in our colonies. General Paincell has departed. Well, that's disappointing. That was getting privateered quite heavily. I'll need to check that. Mysore's in the coalition. Right, so we need some more generals. This is early after a big war, so we should be able to get some decent generals. Also, my professionalism is super low. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send these guys, both of you, back to the Netherlands. So we'll have 100,000 troops in the Netherlands. No, yeah, we'll have 100,000 in the Netherlands. And then I'll send one of the transports back here. We'll keep this 27,000 on rebel bashing duty, because we do need to fight those before they actually try to separate. And we have a couple more rebels going to appear. What's the absolutism like? 42 out of 60. And are we paying off? Okay, so we're actually spending a whole bunch rooting out corruption. That's nearly done. Colony is done. And that is the whole of the Dutch Athabasca region, which is in which trade net area? Those should be joining my Canadians. Why have you not joined the Canadians? Oh, because you're still building. Right, yeah, okay. I'm an idiot. And then you are in Louisiana. And you are the one and only province I have in Louisiana. Interesting, so we need to go and take some more of that. And then New Groningen, which is California. And at some point I want to use you to go and fight the French. Okay, so we are losing a lot of money to privateers. Where is that? Really? Nope. Yes. Britain's trying to privateer me. I'm somewhat surprised that they're not doing more privateering here. Spain's doing a bit. Right. Not a huge loss. It's within acceptable boundaries. And we have Liberty Desire. Let's sort this by colony type. New Holland. You are Light blue. Right, it's the Americans. Development. Include subjects. Cost. Muskogee. There we go. You'll do. And they're happy again. We still can't do any coring. That's fine. Agent spying on us. How dare you. We definitely need to get rid of the overextension before we even consider a war against Austria. The other thing that we can do, of course, is have a word with Prussia and say, break your alliance with Austria. You're afraid of my coalition. You also have very high trust with Austria. In fact, I probably do too. Actually, not a huge amount. I have a lot more trust with Prussia. In fact, let's bump you up to maximum-ish. Because I'm probably going to have to break my alliance with Austria. Well, I'm going to have to break my alliance with Austria. Unless there is a way that I can get them to not join the war against Lübeck when I declare it. But considering the whole Emperor thing, I doubt it. Yeah, I can get a general, you're right. And yes, I also have military access, which we should probably cancel. Military access. Okay, so who are Austria's rivals right now? Ottomans, France and Russia. Who are my rivals? France is. Ottomans and Russia are not. The Ottomans would be the most obvious choice. They are alarmed by my aggressive expansion. Russia couldn't care less. Although I'm allied to one of your rivals. Who are you rivals with? You're rivals with... Okay, of course you are. Yeah, I think it's come to the time where this alliance is over. Attack their non-HRE allies and call them in. Like Britain. No, you can't declare war on someone in the HRE when you're fighting the Emperor. That doesn't work anymore. Right, and I probably, yes, I have a colonist available, which I should probably send somewhere. Like here, now that I realise just how much silly amounts of money there is available there. Because I didn't previously. Although I also want to make sure that we grab as much of South America as possible. Is there anywhere we're actually in competition? Not really. And the whole of America is done. Gobbled up. 1716. That's a very early North America gobbled up. Crikey. Right. Next thing. I'm going to go trade goods map mode. I'm going to click on a gold province. I'm going to say, aha, there's gold in all of these places. I should totally colonize them. So we're going to start with Zigua. Unless there's anywhere with more people. Actually, let's do one which is not necessarily tropical, like Chamba. Do you slow down growth? No, just movement. So we'll do Chamba North. And I really need my transports to get over here so I can send them back over and go and deal with those rebels. Colony is self-sustaining. Okay, so New Overijssel has grown another bit and we have another colonist available. In fact, we have only 2 colonies in action right now. We could be doing with a lot more than that. Increased demand for diamonds. Diamonds from Halar fetch a very good price in foreign as well as domestic markets lately. So much so it's given rise to a new generation of entrepreneurs and economic speculation. Limit any excess. Oh, Lübeck's non-HRE allies. Well, too late, I've broken the alliance with them. Besides, I kind of fancy having a massive showdown, because we haven't really had any. Okay, so do we have any colonists that have actually arrived? No. Austria wants their alliance back. Well, they are still very friendly. They're only allied with HRE, Bremen and Hamburg. Wouldn't work either. Right, I have a lot of money. What can I build? One more of those. In fact, what I can do is include subjects and just go down this list. Of course, I actually built most of the subjects manufactories as well. Oh my gosh, there's going to be so much money here. Alright, so the transports have arrived. I'm going to send one of you over here to basically be the personal transport fleet of that army, because you're going to have some serious fighting to do. I would love to have more settler increase. Thank you. You are already drilling. You need a general who is going to be called... I just realised I have a lot of junk on my desk. Let's get rid of you. And this is the Gelre game. Not luck. No, that's Japan. Yeah. Not luck. You are not amazing. I suspect we can probably do better than that. Hiring new generals between 5 and 13 pips. You are 5, 6, 7. You're definitely on the low side. Let's get a different not luck. Better. Still not amazing though. Let's get rid of you. And we can get one more. This is going to be... Trooper! Wow, that's terrible. What do we do for now? I'll just have to bring in somebody else. Another colony is self-sustaining. Crikey. Well, New Overijssel is getting a lot of territory, which is great. We are going to be stuck with this one random province in Nowheresville. I guess I could just give you to New Overijssel. There is a way of doing that, isn't there? You... New Overijssel... Grand Province... Habina. Done. Now I don't need to worry about it anymore. I really wish that you could do that with autonomous trade companies and just deal with it. It's yours. Let me worry about other things. Alright, we have money again. Let's continue building up some more of those manufactories. And this has the great side effect of making both my colonies extremely wealthy. Them paying me more in tariffs, which is now 143, which is almost double what I'm paying out in subsidies, which is awesome. And also increases the trade output, which means I make more money through trade. You proudly live in Mordred's Netherlands Empire. I don't. I'm from it. I'm from the very heart of it. But I don't live in it anymore. Let's keep those being built. How fast is the technology spreading to us? Slowly. Please tell me that I have the edict set up. I do. And you don't. You're on development. I want you on institution spread. And I want you on institution spread. Let's get this institution over here. Hey Nico, you live in that big Brunswick. Hey Lewis, haven't seen you for a while. Right, let's get tea suppliers, because I am thirsty. And I think the other thing I might do is recruit another stack, because I'm going to need a lot of troops to fight this war. Now, do I want to use mercenaries as my front line? Just keep doing that? I think so. Yeah, I think so. The downside of doing that is those mercenaries will not be drilled. And also, you right now are not drilling. That's unacceptable to me. What is my manpower gain? 1,000 a month. My maximum is 121. We're probably going to need to be near enough the maximum when this war breaks out. Especially if I don't get Prussia on my side. Although if I don't do that, then I'm really going to have to angle for Russia or the Ottomans. I was going to send a diplomat to Russia, actually. How's the chance of an alliance? Oh, I'm allied to your rival, Prussia. The Ottomans are actually far more likely. Let's improve relations with you. Buying mercs also decreases professionalism. You are not wrong in that. Actually, I'm going to bring you two armies together and I'm going to merge you. I'm going to go with stacks of 54,000 here. I should probably upgrade my transport fleet to 54. Speaking of transport fleets, where are you right now? Still sailing. Well, hurry up. India's getting occupied, although thankfully we have some very high-level forts here, so it's not a huge problem, but it is a problem. Also, I would like a couple more forts here, I think. Right here would do very nicely. Oops, wrong one. To deal with this very problem of just, you can stay there sieging me for a long time if you want. Right, let's build a... Well, no. Let's grab the infantry units here. Let's make a large standard stack. Large standard. So this is going to be 30 infantry. 4 cavalry and 20 artillery. 54. That sounds right. Then I'm going to select you. I'm going to get rid of your mercenaries and just get rid of them. And then we're going to go conform to template, large standard. And you're immediately just going to hire 30 infantry. Boom. What is my income? 500 a month. And that's with my paying almost 175 ducats a month in rooting out corruption. Which I just have maxed. Also advisors. Can I level you guys up any further? No. Right, you are drilling there. I do also have a couple new ships being built. Starts afloat. Were you going to go and protect trade in the Philippines? No, because we don't have a merchant there. Canton. Canton we could potentially... There's not actually... Well, actually, no. I was going to say, there's not a lot of money here. Then I saw that. I was like, I mean, I would like that. I think I'm just going to send you to America, though, to be quite honest. Where am I losing the most still? St. Lawrence. I've only got 59% of St. Lawrence. Send more. Alright, infantry is moving in and merging up. So I'm going to need to wait until I'm at 30 manpower again. One other thing I may well wish to do. Other than recruiting another general, of course. We're also going to call Trooper because that guy sucked. Oops. S. That's not good enough.